There was an idea. Bring together a group of remarkable people to see if we could become something more. So when they needed us, we could win trophies. Trophies that Vaduz never could.
In time, you will know what it's like to lose. To feel so desperately that you're right, yet to fail all the same.
If you didn't know otherwise, that they were chasing a title.
Dread it. Run from it. Spurs still arrives.
Press high like Man City. Engage all defenses. And get this man some boots. Fun isn't something one considers when winning Champions Leagues. But this puts a smile on my face.
And the world is left to wonder, how on earth did that happen?
What are you doing? I'm following you, John.
And we pick up then from here. Last time around, it was this crushing defeat that was all too familiar. And yeah, another defeat to Tottenham Hotspur as well. This time, it was even more heartbreaking because we lost it in added time. After fighting back from 2-0 down early, we got it back to 2-2, but Veron scored this header at the back post. It was 3-2 and Spurs won the Europa League, took that Champions League spot for next year. And once again, we're back in the Conference League again. This is our 11th season now in the save, and we are, sort of back to square one. We're competing in the competition that we played in way back in season 1 of this save. But now, obviously, we do have all of the benefits of all of the years of progress that we've made so far. The team, with players like Vincent Yakubu now in our 11, is in a place where we can definitely start to build quickly towards getting back into that Champions League. And maybe by the time we get there, hopefully in 2 seasons time, now is maybe the time that we can properly go and challenge. The problem we've had in this save so far is that we've been unable to get into the Champions League at all. We've only actually been in it once in our 11 seasons, and we got knocked out by Real Madrid, who are obviously really good. By the way, on Vincent Yakubu, somebody did mention it in a comment saying just how good he actually looked like he's going to be. He's now 20 and he has become our #1 striker. This is the man with his 18 finishing that is going to lead our line for definitely this season in the Conference League, and if we can hold on to him, hopefully for the next few seasons too. Now though, let me get you fully up to date as we start all over again. And here we are now on the 20th of September 2035. It is, as I say, season number 11, and these are our opponents in the Conference League this season. Some familiar names that we've come up against in the past. Lille are in here. Puskás Academia, we played them in a knockout game a few years ago. But the biggest shock, where are they? Where are our mates, Viking? They're not in the competition with us. I don't know if that's a good omen or a bad omen, to be honest, but it's going to be weird without them.
I love you.
And by the way, I did see all of you guys who are tagging me in posts about Viking beating Bodo Glimt 5-0 not so long ago in between these episodes, which, just goes to show maybe we should go and do a save with them in the future sometime, because I've definitely grown pretty fond of them over the course of this save. Looking at the list of teams, though, I'm feeling very confident that we can go and beat them. There doesn't appear to be anybody from England in the competition this year, and you may be looking at teams like Frankfurt as our biggest threat, so I think we can go and win this. Especially with some of our new signings this summer. Only 6 of them, but £55 million spent. We've actually still got £78 million left over. We talked about this last time. The last time we were doing this entire run, I was talking about maybe trying to hold the money until we get back into the Champions League, or at least retaining some of it so that we can have that big summer. And that's kind of what I'm doing again here, trying to bring in really good players, but also we do continue to keep selling players too. Now, I know lots of you were saying about this, saying you need to start holding on to the players, even if it's against their will. And I have taken that on board. Unfortunately, unfortunately, we are still the victim of release clauses. Basically, any player, I don't know if this is because of the league or whatever the reason might be, but pretty much any time we do sign a player, they are almost always insistent in putting in some type of release clause, and the agent almost always locks this into negotiations. And instead of risking not being able to sign them, cancelling that, or trying to talk to the agent before and them not liking it, I think instead I'm backing myself to bring in better players. Now, some of these players I have let go because I think we can actually improve on them with the players we're bringing in. Players like João Aguiar, who's been here for ages, has now moved on for £14 million. Ricardo Diaz, probably my favourite player of last season, has moved on for £25 million. That one was a release clause. He's gone to Al Nassr, signed him on a free, sold him for £25 million. Shaquille Van Persie has also gone, and whilst he was brilliant for us, this is because I think Yakubu is now going to be our #1 striker, and I think he is actually better than Van Persie, even if he did score loads of goals for us over the course of the season, and also played off the right hand side, didn't he? And there are a few more big ones going. Livic has gone to Roma for £26 million. Razak Diallo, who is a fantastic left back, has gone for £26 million. And we've also seen Falahi and Rajab also move on. That is £125 million brought in. This is why we've got 78 million left over at this stage, and I've spent 55 of it on these guys. A couple of free transfer signings, one of which I think is really going to be important for us. First, though, Davide Bellotti is a winger with 20 agility and 18 dribbling. Can be so effective in this year's match engine, and actually in match engines of years gone by as well. Especially this year, though, I think with his dribbling. Also naturally left-footed, cutting in on that right-hand side. Could be a real asset for us. He's an Italian international on a free. But this man, Malik Diop, could be so important for us. Another free transfer signing. He's got 64 caps for Senegal. He's 25, so a little bit older than we usually sign, but he's got 1 in 2 goals, look, not even as a striker playing for Senegal. It's a really good goal scoring record internationally, and you can see why that is the case. He's got 20 flair. If we use him in a pseudo number 10 role, one of our midfielders does push up into a number 10 role, this I think could be his most effective position, and he's kind of going to be the replacement for Ricardo Diaz that we've sold. Really like the look of him though, and he has got 11 goals in 13 with 14 assists to start off his career here, which is not too bad. We've then signed Matteo Mosca, who is a striker option, not going to be the starter, but will be the backup to Yakubu. Likewise for Fernando, this is my break glass plan if things are really not going our way. He's 6'7" with 19 jumping reach and really good finishing. If we need a goal, I'm probably going to just be chucking Fernando on up front and hope that he can make something happen. And you'll know by my love of really tall players in Football Manager saves that I always like to have this trick up my sleeve. 2 more then, first of which is a centre-back, Diego Kante from Portugal, 23 years old, under 20 international. He's big, he's tall, he's fast, he's a good defender. He actually cost us the most this year, just under £20 million for him. And then finally, Victor Matias, a Brazilian international, midfielder, 5'10". Again, he could be the replacement, really, on paper for Ricardo Diaz, but this is why I was happy to see players like Livic and Diaz go. I think we've brought in some real quality here. And it all means that we look like this heading into our Conference League campaign. What I'm really hoping now is that this becomes a bit of a cakewalk. Would be nice. If we can go and just blitz our way to winning this competition, this can become a little bit of a montage, and that would be absolutely lovely. I even really do hope that the players we've now got, this setup like this, is good enough to not only win the Conference League, but go and win the Europa League. And then I'm really hoping we can fully focus in on a Champions League campaign. I'm going to go and play games now, and maybe, just maybe, that is going to be the case. And season 11 did end up becoming a bit of a cakewalk. It started with a flawless league phase in the Conference League as we won 6 from 6, beating Malmo, AIK, Slovacio, Shamrock Rovers, Celta Vigo and Riga. This then landed us a round of 16 tie with Steaua Bucharest. And, well, the Romanians were no match for us over 2 legs. 5-0 at the aggregate score, and this set the tone. Next was Legia Warsaw, and this time it was 6-0. In fact, the first goal that we would concede in the knockouts would be against Wolfsberger of Austria in the semi-final. And even then, this goal mattered little as we defeated them 3-1 on aggregate to book our place in the final again. The final that would take place in Metalist, Ukraine, and as I had predicted, before a ball had been kicked at the start of the competition, it was Eintracht Frankfurt who were our opponents. On that night in Ukraine, Davide Bellotti, a new signing at the beginning of the season, I talked about him cutting inside on his left foot from the right wing, and it was him that put us in a commanding position, scoring the opener on 12 minutes after converting a mazy run down the wing, and it was that man that made it 2-0 13 minutes later. After being slipped in by Yakubu, Bellotti finished into the roof of the net, and Frankfurt seemed already pretty beaten. We just needed to put them to bed. And we did. Yakubu added a third on 65 before it was 4-0 10 minutes from the end. This time it was Enrique on the score sheet, and that was how it finished. 4-0, Conference League champions for a fourth time, and we were back into the Europa League again. The board would reward us with a £100 million budget for that summer, and so I went into the summer optimistic until disaster. That summer, exactly what I was trying to avoid happened. We lost some players that I wanted to build the entire team around, not just through this Europa League campaign, but hopefully to go and win the Champions League next year. We lost, most importantly, Vincent Yakubu. Another release clause triggered. He has gone to PSG. I mean, it goes to show just how good of a player Vincent Yakubu ended up becoming. Only at 21 now. He was supposed to be the player to lead us to glory in the next couple of seasons, but £56 million. He's gone to PSG alongside Kostic as well as Belotti. Belotti, who was just starting to shine last season, has also moved on £22 million. There were other sales, as you can see on the screen here. But of course, as always, I do think I've replaced them pretty well. And I'm very much at this stage here. I've actually gone through. We are up to March in our 12th season at the club. I've completed the league phase already in the Europa League. I do think we've got this team purring to a pretty good level. To replace Yakubu, we've brought in Dennis Samuels. Can play as a striker, can play as any of the other attacking positions behind this, but he scored goals, 17 in 26, and we've got about a third of the season to go here. As well as this new midfielder, D'Albert, who's an extremely well-rounded Spanish midfielder. And then there were a few other signings that have contributed a little bit, but the main ones to point you out is where I've gone and become the aggressor. I thought, actually, how are we going to stop Tottenham Hotspur from beating us in finals? Maybe if we take a couple of their players. I have brought from Tottenham Esteval, who at this stage here is 29 years old, maybe coming into the twilight of his career, but pretty talented, as you can see. And also a new right back by the name of Lucio Gonzalez, who isn't the first choice right back, but is a decent squad option for us there. You can see by the appearances that they've made. This summer transfer business is what I'm hoping wins us a Europa League and gets us back into the Champions League, where I'm saving that money. I think it's good enough. Is this a bit of a risk? It might be, but we've got £148 million left because we had 100 million to spend, because we sold players for 147 million. If we can win it this year, the budget we should have going into our Champions League campaign should be massive. And I've been scouting and I've got a couple of plans in place to hopefully make that our final and most successful season yet. At this stage, though, of course, that is still if, buts and maybes, but we still need to go and complete the job in the Europa League here in Season 12. And in that regard, we have made a good start. We did go straight into that league phase where we beat Ajax 6-1 on the opening day. We then backed that up with a 3-0 win against Sparta Prague. Then it was a 6-2 win against Nordsjælland and a 1-0 away win at Osasuna. 4 wins from 4 to begin. And it was very nearly perfect for the remainder as we beat Sporting 2-1 in the penultimate game, but drew the last one 3-3 to Stuttgart. A hat-trick in this game from Dennis Samuels, the Yakubu replacement. I don't know if he's going to be the striker long term, but he is very good and he has been scoring goals this year. Although he isn't our top goal scorer, that accolade goes to Malik Cole, playing off the left-hand side most of the time for us, cutting inside on that right foot. He's got 29 goals in 34 games and has been excellent cutting inside as an inside forward. Those 7 wins from 8 was enough to see us through top of the league phase, just above our Swiss compatriots Lausanne Sport and Young Boys in 3rd. These Swiss teams, I don't know if this is because we've boosted them. It probably is, because even though we're a Liechtenstein team, we are playing in the Swiss league, which is probably boosting them because we then go and compete in Europe. But that's quite telling. We've got in the top 6 teams in the Europa League, we've got 4 teams that play in Switzerland, all going straight through to the round of 16 in this competition. And this is where we will come up against Genk of Belgium. Here you can see the remaining teams in the competition. Interestingly, and probably significantly, there is no Tottenham Hotspur, although there is Chelsea. We did lose to Chelsea in that Club World Cup, if you remember. They tonked us 4-0. So I'm hoping that if we do come up against them, maybe we can get a bit of revenge on them. And you might imagine that it might be them that we would face in the final if we don't draw them before that. In fact, you can already see the quarterfinal draw. And if we beat Genk, we'd play Real Betis or Braga. And this run in now is what I'm going to go and complete now. Hopefully, fingers crossed, another final And hopefully this time we can go one step better than a couple of years ago and actually win the Europa League for a second time in our history. And I'm praying we get ourselves back into the Champions League and we've got that massive budget that we can go and spend to hopefully make the magic happen back in the Champions League. That's my aim. Let's go and do the business. Come on. The tie with Genk was easy enough. A 3-2 win away from home set us up for qualification, and we more than made sure with a resounding 3-0 win at home to win the tie 6-2 on aggregate. That then set us up for a quarter-final battle with Real Betis. This quarter-final followed a similar pattern, a closely contested away first leg, this time a 2-2 draw in Spain, and then a comprehensive victory back in Liechtenstein. Here we smashed the Spaniards 6-2, putting us just one round away from the final. Interestingly, it was our Swiss League compatriots Young Boys that would stand between us and that final. They'd beaten Chelsea in the round of 16, perhaps more evidence of the growing standards of the Swiss League, but as we had demonstrated year on year domestically, they were no real match for us. The first leg was at home and we edged it 1-0 thanks to a goal from Mario Encina, but we would produce a brilliant comeback performance in Bern with goals from Encina and Campos late on to give us a 2-1 win on the night and therefore a 3-1 win on aggregate. This put us back in the final to take place in Georgia where we would meet Osasuna. A win here and Vaduz will be back in the Champions League again, and we got off to the perfect start. Malik Cole, one of our real star players this season, broke the deadlock halfway through the first half. He caressed home Diop's pass with a lovely finish into the far corner, and we would then put together a really mature performance. With the lead established, we kept Osasuna at arm's length before capping a really great display with a lovely goal by Encina. He finished across the keeper from Diop's ball over the top, and that was job done. FC Vaduz Europa League champions once again, but most importantly, we were heading back to the big time. Season 13 would see us in the Champions League again, and with that money saved and UCL qualification secured, the board gave us £150 million to go and spend. And remember those transfer plans that I had? Well, it was time to go and put those into action. Welcome back to Vaduz. Angel Tostado. Was it ever really in doubt that one day we were going to bring back the main man? Angel Tostado, 26 years old now, is once again playing for FC Vaduz. We have brought him back for £50 million. He has spent the past, 6 seasons at Napoli, where he has been scoring an outrageous number of goals. Look at this goal scoring record, and we have pulled the trigger to bring him back to the Swiss League. 6 goals in 6 already at the start of this 13th season. And this man, on £140,000, I'm pretty sure he's our highest earner, is my ticket to winning this Champions League that we're about to enter now. I really hope that that's going to be the case. I did talk about my plan to go big in this window. Once we were back being a Champions League team, we need to make the most of that and bring in some high quality players to push us from getting to the knockouts last time to this time. All of these years later, can we actually go and win it? And I've spent £149 million. It's our biggest spending so far in the entire save, obviously, and it's hopefully going to be the little push that we need to get over the line this year. Let me introduce you then to these 6 new signings. First of all, Tostado is back, and as you see by this, he has made a brilliant start in some of the domestic league and cup games that we've played so far, but we have also brought in Mazinho from Flamengo. He is a right winger, and I mean, look at the quality that he's going to bring us on the right hand side. What I specifically like about Mazinho is that he's already left-footed, so he's already natural cutting inside as an inside forward, and we've seen with players like Malik Cole just how many goals we can score from these wide areas. It's almost our entire brand of football that we play. Mazinho is going to come in and go straight into the team because he is fantastic. Next up, David Fernandez-Vinitsky has joined as a new left back. We were lacking here a little bit since we sold Diallo, and I think this guy is now going to be a real asset for us on that left hand side. Really good physicals and really nice mentals, actually really impressive mentals. He's cost us £30 million and has started every game so far. Next up though, a sub option, as you can see by his appearances, Maurizio Blanco is another attacking midfielder. He's from Argentina, not made his Argentina debut yet, but he's going to be a good option for us, usually coming off the bench. I really want to have not just a fantastic 11, which I think we had last time we're in the Champions League, but I want serious options in case we have injuries, which we did have injuries specifically to the keeper when we last got to the Champions League. I want to avoid that as much as possible this year, and that's why we've gone big here. And then finally, the last two, a new centre-back by the name of Marcos Vela. This guy is an Argentinian international. 3 caps for the national team at 22 and is fantastic. And then finally, a loan. I did actually really have a look at the loan market to see, could we bring that squad depth in just with a loan? Now that we're in the Champions League, we might as well try and have a really big squad. And then if we don't win it, they leave at the end of this season, we can go back into the Conference League without needing to have as many quality players. So it kind of made sense to me, although I could only really find one option, which was Roman Guba from Chelsea to be the backup left back. It wouldn't be a Vaduz summer though without some sales, and even though we have gone really big, we have had to concede that some players have left. The biggest one was Malik Cole. I just mentioned how effective he's been. I think we've replaced him nicely with Mazinho, but Malik Cole has been bought by Barcelona for £65 million. Now this one is a blow, and it kind of is counterintuitive to what we're trying to do here, but I can't avoid it. It's release clauses of ridiculous amounts that they insist on having in their contracts. So he's gone to Barcelona, as well as Ruben Campos, who's gone for £47 million. He was the replacement for Diallo at left back that we were playing last season. We also sold Esteval, although he wasn't really a starter last year anyway, and Rafael Glatz has gone to Al Duhail for £18 million. We again, even though we spent 147 million, we did turn a profit, which is a little bit outrageous. The big one though, the big thing is that Tostado is back, and it means that our squad is going to look a little bit like this. Now, I've had a think about where I want to use Tostado, and I actually think that Dennis Samuels should actually be our starting striker, and I think he'll be better as the striker, with Tostado having brilliant attributes to go and play from the left-hand side, cutting in on this right foot. That might change, of course, but I think that's how we're going to set up. Encina has been so important, scored a lot of goals in those runs in the Conference League and the Europa League. He's going to start on the right, and then Diop, Mateus, and Enrique is a really strong midfield 3. At the back, the new left back Vinitsky and the new centre back Vela, both from Argentina, are both going to make our defence stronger, with Kiatos continuing at right back and Vesely at left-sided centre back. And then the keeper Lati, have a look at this development still. He's really continuing to come on leaps and bounds. I don't think he's been great in some really important matches, but I am really hoping that he continues to keep getting better. Maybe this is the year where he really shows his quality, because his attributes now show that he's got loads of quality. 18 reflexes, 6'4", 16 aerial reach, 17 one-on-ones, and then really good mentals alongside that as well. I think it makes him a really strong keeper, and I think this squad, I'm actually really confident that we can go far in this Champions League. So much so that I've made a bit of a decision for the series. I've had to try and weigh up, as you guys know, I've tried to talk really openly about the whole process of making a series like this one. Doing multiple videos of the same save means that interest does wane over time, and I'm so lucky that so many of you have stayed with this and have watched this till the end. And you don't quite understand just how grateful I am for all of the comments that say, I will watch every video you put out of this series. I love that, and I really do appreciate you. So thank you so much for all of your support on this series. Obviously though, the views do continue to go down the further you get into a series, so I've had to try and weigh up how long do we let this continue without wanting to disappoint you guys who have put your time and effort into watching this series. With all of that in mind, and we had a big chat about this on the stream that we did a couple of days ago, I've decided that if and when we ever make it to a Champions League final, that will become a one-shot chance to win it, and if we win, we've completed the series. But if we fail, that is where the series will end. That could mean with a good run in the Champions League that today is the last video. It could mean that we fail in the knockouts like we did last time and we go again next time. But I think this is how I want to play it. I want there to be loads of jeopardy on that final game. But I also want you to be aware that if we do fail, there is a chance that we end this series without ever completing it. And if that is the case, maybe we do one follow-up video where I just go and play basically until I win, and then give you a bit of a quick update on how I did manage to achieve it in however long it takes type of thing. But that's kind of the way that I want to play this. And I hope that you appreciate me talking about this. It's a little bit of a peek behind the curtain, but I feel like you've come on the journey with me. You deserve a bit of an explanation, and hopefully you appreciate that type of thing. That, though, is how we're going to play it. Maybe that's today, maybe that's in the future, but if we ever get to a final, that is going to be the one shot at completing this entire challenge. And I like a bit of Jeopardy, me. So please do continue to support. Please do like the video. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. I really appreciate you guys. Let's now go and get started in the Champions League this year. Oh, and I should say as well that a lot of this confidence that I've got that we can go far in the Champions League this year does come from the fact that we did win the FIFA Club World Cup in the summer. I don't know why we're in it. I think you have to be in the Champions League to actually qualify for this, and we haven't been for so many years, but I'm not going to question it. We were in the Club World Cup again for a second time. Last time, we got knocked out 4-0 by Rossinia's Chelsea. This time, we made it to the final, and goals from Barbosa and D'Albert gave us a 2-0 win, and we lifted the trophy. And the run in that competition again shows why I'm really confident. We beat Man City in the semi-final 4-2. It was Inter in the quarter-final. We beat them 1-0. And then Porto before that in the second round. We are bona fide European giants at this stage. Even more rubber-stamped by the fact that we beat Barcelona in the UEFA Super Cup. We are able to beat teams like Inter, City, Chelsea, Barcelona in games that really matter for actual silverware. So why can't we go and win the Champions League this year? Why can't we go and make this the year that we complete the impossible dream? It's time to go and kick it off. We've won every game so far this season, and we've even won our very first Champions League game back in the competition with a 2-0 win against Manchester United. Next up, we play Milan, Bayern Munich, Olympiacos, PSG, Roma, Rennes, and Osasuna. On paper, I think that's pretty tricky. There's some very big teams we play in there. PSG, Bayern Munich, Milan, and we've already played United. If we can get through these games, if we can win these games, why can't we go into the knockouts full of confidence? And we have made that great start by beating Manchester United. My only worry is that because these games are so tough that we don't actually qualify for the knockouts, but that's what I'm going to go and have a go at doing now. I'm going to go and play our league phase games, be back with an update, and hopefully things get very, very serious at that stage. Well, welcome back to not only the end of the group phase, but now the end of the round of 16, as this goal from D'Albert made it 9-2. We've just knocked out Osasuna 9-2 on aggregate in the Champions League round of 16. It was an absolute cakewalk for us, as has been the entire Champions League campaign so far. If I was confident beforehand, I am now overflowing with confidence. We are an outrageous football team. This was the team that took to the field in this round of 16 tie against a team that we'd already beaten in the league phase. It was a pretty comfy draw, if we're honest. But this team here, with Tostado actually leading in the line and Samuels playing wide, I have swapped those two about quite a lot. And this game, Tostado led the line, although he didn't score or do anything. Goals from D'Albert, 2 of them. Diop in midfield, and Enrique, our number 6, made us more than comfortable against this Osasuna team, who we'd already beaten 5-0 in the away leg. This was that result in Spain. Mateus, Diop, Samuels, Tostado, and Barbosa with the goals. We are very, very confident right now, as displayed by this league phase campaign. We won 8 of our 7 games, drawing 1 of them, and only finishing behind Real Madrid in the league table. Our 1 draw came against Rennes, which on paper actually was probably the easiest game, but by the point we played them, we'd already qualified, which is why we ended up drawing it. We did beat, though, and this might be the biggest marker yet, and I know I say this every time, but I think it's important to show the real context of actually how good are we as a team. We smashed through our league phase where we played United and Milan and Bayern Munich. We beat PSG 4-2. And in fact, I should show you this game here, because look at the stats of the game. It wasn't just that it was a bit of a shootout and we won it 4-2. We dominated in the stats. We had 3 XG compared to their 0.59. We created 2 clear-cut chances, 21 shots, 12 on target, and this PSG is no joke. Arne Slot, even if they do have Arne Slot as the manager, this is their striker, William Cosgrove, who's the new Harry Kane, it seems. He's got 27 goals in 46 games. He has got 19 finishing, leading the line for them. And the team still includes players like Musiala and Doué and Zaire Emery, who has now become very good in the year 2038. This is him at 32 now, still absolutely destroying that midfield. What a player. And all of this means that we now head in to a quarter-final tie, full of confidence, but also a small sense of trepidation that maybe this is our best ever chance of winning this Champions League. Who knows what the teams around us would look like? Who knows what our team would look like if we were to get knocked out in this one and have to go another 3 seasons before getting back to this point? It does mean, though, that it's all going to come down potentially to this, where we have drawn Liverpool. Now, this doesn't make it particularly easy, but these are the last 8 remaining teams in the Champions League this campaign. It is us and Liverpool who will play. PSG play City. Now, that could be important. One of those 2 teams is going to get knocked out. That's how these things work. And then it's Newcastle, Bayern Munich. Newcastle actually have a lead in that tie. They've played the first leg of these. And then it's Benfica, Arsenal, who drew the first leg. Back at Arsenal for the second leg, you'd probably back Arsenal to go through there. But there is a world here where Newcastle knock out Bayern Munich, PSG or City would be out. If we can get past Liverpool, it might just open up slightly for us. But of course, Liverpool will be a really tricky test that we're going to go and try and overcome together in live comms now. We do also know the semi-final draw, and it will be the winner of PSG and City. So it doesn't get much easier, but it could mean that if we do get to a final, that the team we come up against is a team that we should maybe be confident against. Just to show you as well, and this is maybe interesting, the current leaders in the Premier League are Newcastle. It's Newcastle, then Liverpool in second, who could still win the title. City also could still win the title. It's a really good title race in the Prem this year. But Arsenal are down in 5th, behind Manchester United, who we've already beaten in the league phase of the Champions League this year. And then again, we beat City in the Club World Cup in the summer, and we beat Chelsea in the final of that. So these teams that we're up against, I am definitely confident against. Let me show you as well just how good these players have been performing by showing you the tactics screen here. There are the goals and the assists, with the assist on the wrong side because I don't know why, and it really annoys me when it does this. But the return of Tostado has seen him score 28 goals in 42 with 19 assists. Encina, probably the real star of the show this year, quietly on this right-hand side. What a player Mario Encina actually is. 20 balance, 16 first touch, great dribbling, brilliant off the ball and technique. He's got 34 goals and 20 assists. And then Samuels, who I have been swapping to play left wing with Tostado, Samuels has chipped in with 24 goals and 20 assists. I say Encina is the star of the show. That's actually probably not true. I'd probably have to give that crown instead to the man that scored 26 from central midfield. Malik Diop is probably that guy. 91 caps now for Senegal. He's going to get so many because he's still only 27. He scored 42 goals for them as well. And he's not even a striker. What a midfielder he is. What a player he is. And I think that really underlines the quality that we've got in this side now. We are a serious football team. And now it's time to go and press continue and go and play Liverpool in the quarterfinals. We play first of all at home, and we have to here really try and make sure that we put ourselves in a good position to try and qualify. We'll also as well have a really good look at this Liverpool team. I can't recall now whether we've actually played them in the save so far. I think we have. I'm not sure. You guys will probably know better than I do. Let's now pick a team and get ourselves into this first leg. And okay, we're going to go like this. I've made one small change, and I was debating a little change at centre-back. We're going to go with Kante, though, as the starter. That's because Vela isn't fully fit. He's coming back from an injury. He would usually be our starting centre-back, but he has been struggling more recently. So he's going to be on the bench here. He could play 75 minutes, but I'm going to go with Kante, who's also a brilliant centre-back. And I'm going to go the big call. I'm going to play Tostado as the striker. I think narrative-wise, who do we want to score the winner here? We want it to be Tostado, don't we? So let's lean into that. Submit this team. This is the home tie. Liverpool come into Liechtenstein, and we have to try and make the very most of that. There are the two teams. Who's the Liverpool boss? Does it say it on here? I don't think it does. I'm not sure who it is at this stage now, because Slot's at PSG, isn't he? They've got Trubin in goal, Bitshiabu's gone there. Nico O'Reilly has ended up at Liverpool. Florian Wirtz is the captain, Wharton, Ungamoa, Kawalias. We definitely have looked at this team. I remember seeing Kawalias when we looked at Liverpool beforehand. I think we really randomly looked at Liverpool once, didn't we? There's our team, though. Let's address the team and tell them it's our home form. It is very important to us. Make the most of it. Get out there and try and get a result. I'm hoping, based on our other results, that we can get ourselves 1-0, 2-0. It's Luis Enrique, the Liverpool manager. 1-0 or 2-0 in front, and then we can hold on, hopefully, back at Anfield. Look at that lovely Champions League motif. Maybe the biggest game in our entire history thus far. A Champions League quarter-final game against Liverpool. Hopefully, we can go and get the job done. Okay, then, here we go. We are underway in what is a massive game. We also can keep an eye on this PSG City game that is going on too, the first leg of that tie, because the winner of that is going to hopefully be playing us if we can get through. 10 minutes gone by. No highlights as of yet. Oh, PSG have taken the lead against City. The first goal has gone in there. And here we go with our very first bit of action. Diop, our main man, Mateus Tostado. Oh, it was almost the perfect start. I've put him through the middle for the narrative. He's put it wide. Here we go again. Ball over the top. Encina back into the middle, headed away. Encina is... Oh, he's off the bar. Diop's hit the bar, goes down. Penref, no. Chances. We're on the attack. Diop! Oof. We are putting Liverpool under very early pressure here. Can we make the most of this very early pressure inside the first 20 minutes? Encina to take it. The big men are up from the back. There's Enrique headed away. Comes back to Diop. There is. It's an own goal. I don't know how it's an own goal, but Diop took the shot and it's gone in. Off Zoma. It must have been a massive deflection and it was going wide. But it is 1-0 to FC Vaduz. We don't get a replay, apparently. 20 minutes in, though, we lead. Can we do something similar? No. Kiatos goes alone. Good save, Trubin. Diop has it. Encina. He's looking for the run of Tostado. He's going to get on the end of it. Tostado 2-0. That is what we are talking about. Angel Tostado back in a Vaduz shirt. And we lead Liverpool 2-0 before half-time. Diop, so integral. Into Encina, who's been a real star this year. This pass is a beauty. They cannot catch him offside. Can Tostado finish it? Of course he can. Past Trubin, 2-0. We are leading, but we are also dominating. And that is half-time. We lead then 2-0. And I've just seen in the other time, Man City at half-time are 3-2 up away at PSG. What an outrageous football game that is. I love these match stats back here, though. We've only had 32% of possession, but when we've got it, we are carving Liverpool open. Liverpool have had 0 shots. We are completely decimating Luis Enrique's Liverpool team. Can we go and complete the job in the second half? I'll tell you what, if we can get another couple of goals, it becomes a bit of a non-affair back at Anfield, and Tostado's got one already. First attack of the second half. 14 seconds it took in the second half. And Angel Tostado has made it 3-0. This ties over. Kiatos with the ball over the top. A beauty of a pass. Tostado, those runs are so penetrative. Absolutely stupendous from Tostado. We are now heading into the last 15 and we're in again. He's hit the post. Tostado. It was almost 4 and a hat-trick for Tostado. It might still be. It's cleared away now. All right, we are into the last 5 minutes here. We are on the attack. Can we add a fourth? Mazzinho, who I've brought on. The left-back's in here. Vinitsky has been put in behind by Mazzinho, one of the subs, and we've made it 4. Fernandez Vinitsky with the finish. It's beautiful football. Look at this. Carving Liverpool open again. Barbosa. He's just come off the bench. Into Mazzinho, just off the bench. Lovely ball through. Vinitsky, left-footed from left-back. 4-0 Vaduz. And this tie, I mean, it's all but over, isn't it? Leaving us on attacking. If they score now, it would be a bit of a shame. But Yarmouk into Yildiz, who's playing left wing. Back into Yarmouk. It's good football, actually. Gomez is in behind. They have got a goal back. I mean, 4-1's still not bad, is it? But it is what would have been an away goal back in the day. There's 3 minutes to go. I think PSG are 4-3 up now as well, which is just outrageous. Who would I prefer to play? I think I'd prefer to play City. PSG just always strikes so much fear into me in Football Manager, more so than any other team, I think. So maybe City, especially as we've beaten Liverpool, who are above City in the league. We're into the 3 minutes added on, though. See this through, take a 4-1 lead back to Anfield, and hopefully see us through to the semi-finals. I don't know what I'm talking about. I'm saying see it through. We've scored another. It's 5-1. Mazzinho has got a goal off the bench. One of our summer signings. This is dreamland right now. This is why I think this is going to be our year. It's Barbosa who gets it across to Mazzinho. Mazzinho is facing the wrong way. Plays a little 1-2 with Gonzalez that turns him around. And the finish is just brilliant, actually. 5-1. And that, my friends, I think this time is going to be that. I don't think we even need to go and play the second leg together. I'm going to go and play it myself. And hopefully it just means that we confirm our place in the Champions League semi-finals. And there we have it then. I have now played the second leg. We did actually lose this game 2-1 at Anfield, but we are through 6-3 on aggregate. Very safely, especially after Enrique gave us the lead on 17 minutes. But they did need to try and score 5 goals, which they weren't quite able to do. Ungamoa equalised on the night before. Keenan Yildiz made it 2-1. But 6-3, we are through in the Champions League. And we will play Manchester City in the semi-final. They have managed to get the job done in the quarters with a 2-0 win back at the Etihad after PSG won 4-3 in the first leg. So City turn it around, a 5-4 thriller in that quarter-final, and we will play City in the semi-final. And I think actually out of the two, I talked about it, this is the team that I would prefer to play. And we don't yet know who the other semi-finalists are going to be. We are waiting for those second legs to be played. But right now, it's time to go and get prepared and get ready to go and play Manchester City in a semi-final. This is so close that I feel like I can touch it, but there's also a really long way to go, isn't there? Let's go and get ready for City. Here we go then. I've now picked my team for Manchester City at home in the Champions League semi-finals. We once again get the home tie first, and we're going to try and establish that lead to take back to the Etihad. Now, I also want to show you, in the other semi-final, it's ended up being Newcastle and Arsenal. And have a look at this for a first leg result. This time that leg has gone first. 5-2 Newcastle, which now more than likely means that we'd play Newcastle in the final if we can get past Manchester City. It's Premier League teams and us. Newcastle knocked out Bayern Munich 3-2 on aggregate, and Arsenal pretty simply got past Benfica 2-0 with a 2-0 win back at home. Our finalist opponents is something to think about in the future, though. First, we need to go and do the decent thing here and knock out Manchester City. And there's our first sight then of the City team, still led by Erling Haaland, even here in, 2038. He's now their captain. And they've got some other great players in there too. Lekeba, Karabashvili, what a left back he is. And also some names that you're not going to recognise, which probably means they're really, really good new gens. Players like David Ivard is probably just going to be outrageously good, their number 8. We'll find out maybe by how he plays against us. I've told my team to go and play their own game. There's our team. I've once again gone, I didn't even talk you through the team. I've gone with Vela at centre-back as we did before, and I've also gone with Tostado leading the line with Samuels playing left wing, just like that quarter-final game against Arsenal. Here come the two teams ready to kick off this all-important semi-final. This now becomes the most important game in our history, doesn't it? Let's go and get ourselves underway and kind of pray that we can make it through. Here, the first 10 minutes has seen City have 2 shots and none for us. That's different to the Liverpool game, where I don't think we allowed them a shot until like the 70th minute or something. We have now got one ourselves, but after 15 minutes, it's a pretty cagey one. Banks, one of their centre-backs, Noah Kai Banks, is also a really good player. We've picked it up, though, and we've played in Mazinho, and Mazinho has put it in the back of the net. I didn't even say it, and Cena was struggling a little bit. I've gone with Mazinho as the right winger in this game, and he's made that decision look very, very good. It's a header won by Diop. He's so good in there, and Tostado turns provider. Mazinho has given us the lead, and we are stepping ever closer to a Champions League final. Inside 20 minutes, it's 1-0. Kwiatkowski down the right-hand side. Can he find? There's loads of players waiting in the middle. It's going to come to Mateus and blocked. Here comes Kwiatkowski again. Kwiatkowski all the way through and in. Samuels! They managed to recycle it after the first chance was cleared, and Samuels on the left-hand side has given us a 2-goal lead. It's going in exactly the same pattern as that Liverpool tie last time around, where we are dominating at home. And I'm thinking again, can we give ourselves a lead that is insurmountable for the second leg for City here? Samuels could only tap it in. An easy finish, 2-0. And after a decent start by City, now we're dominating. Slow and patient, but City are now working their way through. Haaland into Mayula. Oh, good save from Felix Lati. It was a long-range effort and a good save from our keeper. I have just noticed our centre-back Vela, just back from that injury, is now struggling and carrying an orange injury, which is a worry. We might need to make that change at half-time. We are, though, on the attack here. Vinitsky past his man, into Samuels, back to Vinitsky, into the middle, blocked and away. Half-time in the Champions League semi-final first leg, and we have a really strong 2-0 lead. You can see by the momentum, it was a good start by City, but as soon as we got our goal, we've been on top ever since. Let's address the team. I always say this, even though it's a complete lie to them. I'm going to tell them that things have to improve, because it really motivates them, even though we've had a great first half there and we've been brilliant. I'm going to lie to their faces and get us underway for the second half. I did just realise that I didn't make that sub at centre-back, did I? I'm going to wait until the 60th now. He seems to be okay. His condition isn't bad, even though he is carrying this injury. So I think I'm going to hold off taking off Vela at centre-back. And again, hope it doesn't come back to bite us. City on the attack here. Ledesma. Is that our Ledesma from the past? It might well be. Haaland, it's wide. He was offside anyway. It is indeed Fructuoso Ledesma, who was so integral to one of our... I think pretty sure he played the last time we were in the Champions League. He's now just come off the bench for City in this game here. We will keep an eye on him. It would be kind of poetic if he scored against us. I'm hoping that's not going to be the case. Now, though, I'm going to do that sub. I'm going to bring on Kante. We're just going to make it one sub for Vela, who's carrying that injury. We are approaching the hour mark. We're on the attack again here. Diop into Mateus. Gives it away. He is struggling. It's going to be picked up again there by Enrique. Back to Diop. We need some width here. Diop's going to do it himself into the box. Can he find anyone in the middle? Tostado's there! And it is 3-0. Tostado with a tap in. 3-0. Diop is the man again to make the difference in these ties. And then you've got a finisher, a killer like Tostado up front. Diop does it himself, drives down the right, puts it into a place where Tostado cannot miss it. And the tap-in is there. That's 3-0. I would love a fourth goal here. It almost guarantees that we get through to the final, where we'll probably be playing Newcastle. Vesely drives forward. A good bit of play, but cleared. Haaland's going to pick this up. This could add a little bit of trouble. It's deflected and saved by Lati. I'm going to tell them to time waste, and I'm also going to drop us down to balanced rather than pushing it too much. So let's make another change to waste even more time. We'll do Kiatos off for Gonzalez. A minute and a half, we have the ball. Just take ages to kick this ball, Felix. That's it. Keep holding on. City now have players to go and break. We're supposed to be balanced. Good tackle back from Vinitsky. I don't know why I'm so stressed. We're 3-0 up. That's time. What a win. What a situation to have put ourselves in here. Another leg where we end up 3 goals up before going away to a Premier League team. This is the pattern that we've established, and this should be us with 1 foot in the Champions League final. I'm going to go and do the same thing. It might come back to bite me, but if it does, I'll show you everything. I'm going to go and play the second leg now, and I think we're going to go and book ourselves a Champions League final place. Season 13, can't believe I'm saying this, but Vaduz might be about to get themselves to the Champions League final. Okay. And that is full time in our game away at the Etihad, where we've managed a 0-0 draw. We've done the exact lock it down Mikel Arteta way of playing. Even though we created very little and only had 36% possession, City created nothing either. 0 clear-cut chances. A 0-0 draw with Guardiola's City has indeed, and I cannot believe we're finally saying this, booked us a place in the Champions League final, where we will play one of Newcastle or Arsenal. In fact, I think we should click through at this stage and find out which of the 2 teams it is going to be. Newcastle do have this massive lead, but I guess we can go and find out which of the 2 teams we're going to play in a Champions League final. Which is more poetic? Is it better to go and play Newcastle and beat them because they're currently top of the Prem? Or actually, do we beat Arsenal, who are the rivals of Spurs, who have become our biggest rivals in this save? Is that something we can look out for? I don't know. I don't think it really matters. But either way, is going to be Newcastle United in the Champions League final. Newcastle United, who managed to hold on despite losing 3-2 in this second leg. It was 5-2 to Newcastle, then 3-2 to Arsenal in the second one. But we will play in the Champions League final, which is going to be held at the Stade de France, which will be played on the 29th of May. This is actually what this all comes down to. And remember what I said before. If we win, we've completed it. If we lose, then I'm going to say, after 13 seasons of toiling, that we've ultimately failed. There needs to be a cut-off point, and I'm making it this. We've made it to a Champions League final. Everything that we've built so far goes into this. Newcastle United, current leaders of the Premier League, are all that stands between us now and completing the impossible Vaduz challenge. And actually, I know I use the word impossible quite a lot. This one has actually almost felt impossible, and it might yet end up being impossible. Let's go and prove that not to be the case. I'm going to go and rest my team loads in these other games, and I will see you at the end of May for this most momentous, most historic of matches up the Vaduz. Come on. Well, it is Champions League final day, and this 11, these warriors of our Vaduz adventure, are going to take the field in France to try and bring home the Champions League trophy. I have gone for about as full strength as I possibly could here. We've gone with Lati in goal, with Kiatos and Vinitsky as our fullbacks. Vesely and Vela back to full fitness now, with Enrique, Diop and Mateus as our midfield. That is our full strength midfield, and then the attack, Tostado will lead our line. He's now got 33 goals this year, and he'll be backed up by Encina on the right hand side and Samuels on the left. We did actually have one injury in between the games here. We did lose Mazzinho, who's had to go and see a specialist for fractured ribs. And also Big John Perry is going to miss this game too. He's moderately sprained his ankle ligaments and will miss this one. Other than that though, we are just about as full strength as we can be. Barbosa's struggling a little bit, but he's fit enough for the bench. But this is our team. This is our lineup. This is how we're going to approach this. This, I guess, is it. Oh, by the way, I did rest everybody in the last league game and we lost 5-1 to the Toon Army, which is kind of a nice way to round things off for the save because we've always had trouble playing them, haven't we? Weirdly. Up the Toon Army. Let's now, though, submit this team and find out what Newcastle team awaits us in the Champions League final. Again, I can't believe I'm actually saying it. It's the Champions League final, and this is what it all comes down to. There is the Newcastle team with lots of names that I don't recognise in there. They do have Livramento still. Dean Howson is here. Zeno de Bast will partner him at the back. That's a very strong Football Manager defensive partnership there. But then the rest of these names, I'm pretty sure all of them are new gens, which is maybe why Newcastle are as strong as they've ended up being. They did, by the way, win the Premier League. They are the new Premier League champions. Let's address our team. What should we say to them here? Do you know what? I don't usually go positive, but actually go out there and prove to everyone that you are winners. Feels very apt for this right now. For the context of the whole series, that feels right. There is the Vaduz team. Here comes the Newcastle team, managed by Ronnie Filali. Not a name that I'm particularly familiar with there. Is that a new gen manager or is that somebody that is actually a manager that you guys know? Here, though, come the two teams. What a theatre to play football in. What a place to hold this Champions League final as well. It's the two teams are arriving from the tunnel. The referee has that Champions League ball. We are taking to the field for a Champions League final. I'm actually genuinely nervous. I'm worried that we're going to get to this point and not be able to convert it to a win. I really want to win. More so than I think I've wanted to win so many Football Manager games this year. It just feels momentous to be here. We're underway. The Champions League final has kicked off. Can we get the job done? A big performance, lads. Come on. First 10 minutes, by the way, has been quite cagey and a little bit worryingly has probably been in Newcastle's favour. No highlights yet, but they have managed 5 shots compared to our, well, it was 0 before, but we are up to 3 now, maybe fighting our way back into this game a little bit. We're now on the attack with Mateus from midfield into Samuels. He's going to go back. He's going to get himself down the left-hand side. No, back inside now. Enrique into Diop. He's usually the man to make stuff happen. Come on, work it well. Encina through to Kiatos, the right back. What a play! What a goal! What a start! Even though Newcastle are on top, Kiatos, our right back, has given us a Champions League lead. It feels massive. Diop gives it to Encina. Encina back in the team. A little ball through. How many times do we score goals like that with our fullbacks getting in behind? Vinitsky scored one. Was it in the semi-final against City or was it back in that quarter-final against Liverpool? Either way, we score this goal often. Kiatos is the man. And we do have the lead. We've struck first in this Champions League final. I now just want the game to end. Can I make it end? Shall I waste time? Shall I go defensive? Very defensive. No, let's stick to what we know. Are we about to complete the Vaduz challenge or am I about to look very, very silly? Here come Newcastle. Maybe I'm about to look silly. It is Yankto goes wide into Watio. That Marvin Watio, I have signed a player called that before. It must be a face in the game name. And usually he's very good. Yankto into Reynoso, into Turan. This is good football from Newcastle. Skips past the challenge. Can he get a shot away? It's a good save from Lati. Just pads it down to himself. I don't know why I'm doing an impression of it. And it's hopefully safe. Half an hour on the clock. Slightly worrying. Good football from Newcastle. Newcastle are the better team at this stage right now. Reynoso into Howson. It's good football and I'm scared. Over the top to Watio. Back into the middle. What a cross that is. It's going to go in, is it? No! Lati saved it. What a cross that was by Watio on the volley. 35 on the clock. A second goal would settle everybody down, wouldn't it? Foul ref! He's dived ridiculously. We're on the attack anyway. Mateus. He's got space out wide for Vinitsky. Back into Mateus. In the middle. Tostado! Tostado scores! In the Champions League final, there is a check for offside. But Angel Tostado has come full circle in this save. He left all those years ago and now he's a Champions League final goal scorer for us. It's a brilliant bit of play. He is onside behind the ball. Mateus crosses and Tostado has made it 2-0 to us. Even though we felt a bit of pressure there from Newcastle, we now actually have a very decent Champions League final lead here. Can we get through to half-time? Let's talk about milestones here. Get through to half-time, then it's 60, then it's changes, then it's the last 7, then get to 75, etc, etc. The half-time whistle has gone. We've had 27% possession compared to Newcastle's 73, but we are the team that has created the chances. We've had the shots on, I mean, that's not even true. We've got a slightly higher XG, but a lot of that would have come from that Tostado chance, wouldn't it? We've had the clear-cut chance, though. I'm going to address the team and do what I always do and tell them I'm far from pleased. A few of them didn't love that, but keep it up. We have to make sure that we don't let ourselves drop off at all here, because this Newcastle team, they feel dangerous. They play a very attacking 4-2-2 with the 2 strikers. Hopefully we can contain them though and do what I said. Get to each milestone. Get to 60, then we'll make some changes. Try and get through to 75, then it's more changes. Then it's try and waste some time, and then it's try and get through. Can we get ourselves a Champions League win here? Are we going to actually do it the first time we get to the final? We are at 60. It is now when I want to make our first changes, but Newcastle might score a goal. They might not, though. We might make it 3-0. Vinitsky into Mateus. He's been good today, hasn't he? Mateus down the left-hand side. He's got Vinitsky with him. He's gone alone. He's in the box. He's found Samuels. It's in. He's managed to put it away. It's 3-0 to Vaduz. Oh, my word. Newcastle looks so threatening, but every actual chance has been ours. Look at this run from Victor Mateus. He stands up the defender. He beats the defender. And then Samuels is there to put it in the back of the net. It slides under the goalkeeper. 3-0. And oh my word, this is actually happening. Anything from here would be an almighty bottle. Don't you dare even think about it, Football Manager gods. Let's now make some changes to see this through. It's a 9.2 from Mateus in our midfield. I think he's got 2 assists. How can we shore this up in there? I don't want to take him off, obviously. I think I'm going to do the left back and bring on Sivrakaya. And I think I'm going to make a change. I want to do midfield, but I don't want to take Diop off. And Mateus is having the game of his life. It'd usually be Mateus that I take off here. Maybe Encina, but Barbosa's struggling a bit, so I don't want to do that either. Maybe Mosca is going to play on the right-hand side. It's not naturally his position. It's usually that way. Maybe I swap them. Let's play Samuels, who's playing well because he's got his goal now. Let's do that as our first 2 changes. They've done 4 changes there. The Newcastle side. I was going to say they've not really changed much. Now they've rang the changes. 15 to play. That's the next milestone. That's the next change. I don't, again, really know what I do here. Maybe Samuel's off for... Let's do Barbosa. I know he's carrying that injury, but he's such a quality player that I think he'll make a difference for us. It should be Tostado, but I'm not taking him off in a final. Let's do the right back as well. Let's do Gonzalez. That's 4 of our changes. I want to keep the legs fresh. There's 10 to play. I'm panicking even at 3-0 up here. 10 to play before we are crowned winners of the Champions League. I'm trying to put time wasting on, but there's something happening in the game here. There is a highlight. We've won it. Tostado's won it back and is off down the right-hand side on his own. Look at him go. Like a gazelle. It's Angel Tostado. He goes for goal. It was a very tight angle, but he's won a corner. What a run. 8 minutes to play. We are finally properly time wasting. Let's go down to balanced. I think it's happening. I think this is happening. Newcastle might score now. It feels like it's gone dark. It's because of the shade. But even if Newcastle scored now, surely there's no time for a comeback. Larty, he's developed so much. He's now such a good keeper. He's made a very important save. There's 3 minutes added on. I think time's up. I think we're about to complete the impossible Vaduz challenge. And we have. FC Vaduz are champions of Europe. A competition they can't even technically qualify for. Unless you do what we just did. Unless you win the Conference League to put you into the Europa League. Which you then go and win that Europa League to put you into this Champions League. And then you win it. FC Vaduz, European champions. The impossible Vaduz challenge. Completed it, mate. What a team we put together this year. We absolutely, I mean, I know I was panicky, but we have dominated. All of those Premier League teams could not live with us. And we have completed the challenge. Thank you so much for coming along on this journey with me. That was an all-timer. That was a genuine pleasure. If you've enjoyed it, please leave a like on the video. Please let me know in the comments, because it honestly, it's so reaffirming as a creator to see people enjoying what you put out. And I feel like there was a connection with this series now. Let's go and start something new. Let's go and do something similar. Maybe a series, maybe a youth-only save. What do you reckon? Thank you so much for watching, though. This was glorious. Up the Vaduz. You Vaduz veterans out there, if you've made it to the end, let me know. I'll see you in the next one. Subscribe to the channel, and thank you. God bless Angel Tostado. I'll see you soon. Oh my word, we actually won it.